Good afternoon. Oh, well, it's late afternoon, is it? It's 5 o'clock. It's the top fives at 5 with myself, Gav Mack, Alex Osborn, and Stephen Buck. How are you, gentlemen?
All good, mate. All good.
Yeah, not too bad, man.
Pay for it.
Oh, it's
Ready
lovely.
to get surprised by you again, I'm sure.
Oh, stop it. Oh, stop it. Hey, look, we're going to talk about our top 5 worst goalkeepers of all time in our top fives at 5. You can follow us on all social media. You'll be able to see it going across the bottom of your screen right now. Boys, do you want to point down? There you go. Just let everyone know where it is. Oh, it's down there. It's down there. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I don't know. Any social media at Top Football, you'll be able to find our handsome faces and some of our bald heads and my now bald face. Right then, top fives. Let's go. Number 5, Claudio Bravo. Claudio Bravo. People when they talk about goalkeepers with short arms, people talk about Jordan Pickford quite a lot. Jordan Pickford, I think, is actually quite a good shot stopper. But the thing is, with Claudio Bravo, if he was playing as like a defensive central mid, he would be really good because he's really good with his feet. But as a goalkeeper, you need to be good with your hands, and that's something that he is not. So that's why. And also, I don't think I'm much shorter than him. And a goalkeeper, I want you to be 6'5". At least, So here's my number 5. Number 4. It's got to be Massimo Taibbi, isn't it? Massimo Taibbi, very good goalkeeper. The only unfortunate thing about Massimo Taibbi is the fact that he comes from my club's hometown. But I don't ever want to relate him and Palermo together at any point whatsoever. Not a very good goalkeeper.
That link is always going to be there, Gav. You're never going to be erased.
Can't choose where you're born, can you?
No,
can't choose where you're born.
You can't.
Number 3, I've gone with Roberto from West Ham. This guy has no awareness of where his goal is. And he just seems lost. Look, West Ham in particular last year, when they ended up going down the route of who's your man who used to play for West Ham? He's meant to be a bit of a legend, Scouser, and his lad went in goal in that Chelsea game. He's always on TalkSport. You know what I'm on about.
Him, yeah, anyway. I know who you are. I can't remember his name.
But yeah, if he's getting a game ahead of Roberto, and Roberto's meant to be your number 2, that tells a bit of a story. Roberto, I think I've seen him make one good save in the history of his career, and they were already 3-0 down at that point. So it was just more of a damage limitation thing for me. So he's gone in at number 3. Number 2, gone a little bit left field, and not many people might have heard of him. Felix V de Velde. Now, he is a German goalkeeper. He was in the same under-20 squad in like 2008, 2000 and 2009 with some real legendary German names, and everyone's thinking, he's going to be the next big thing. Came through the ranks at Werder Bremen. He's had a stint at Leeds as well. So there's our one-a-show Leeds United reference for you. I mentioned about like Bravo being able to play with his feet. Now, Felix V de Velde cannot play with his feet or his hands. He has literally never caught a ball in his life. He parries everything and parries it into the path of someone oncoming. If I fancy myself in goal, and we've already mentioned about height, everyone knows I'm not blessed with height in any way, shape or form, but I fancy myself because at least I can catch a ball. So he is number 2. And if you're thinking, who is this guy? Literally just go on YouTube and have a look at his gaffes. And I feel sorry for Leeds United fans because I think they thought that they had someone on their hands and it really wasn't. And my number 1.
It's funny they thought they had someone on their hands when he couldn't use his.
Well, exactly. That's the joy of it. That's the joy of it. Number 1, Manuel Almunia. Manuel Almunia is the worst goalkeeper in my life, and I will still never forgive him for the Champions League final. Yes, he came on as a substitute. I understand that. He's been beaten twice at his near post, though. You can't get beaten at your near post as a goalkeeper, especially twice in the manner that he did. We also will talk, well, the thing is, like, Bucky, we all know that you're a Spurs fan, and Danny Rose's debut, what a strike it was. However, what was Almunia doing? He was on, he pushed the ball out, he's on his knees. So if he was stood up, he'd probably catch that. Bosh, right in front of him. There you go. But he's on his knees, and he always seems to dive from almost like a kneeling position. Oh, he's a shocking goalkeeper, absolutely shocking. So he's my number one worst goalkeeper of all time. Fair?
He's on his knees, mate.
It's a good shout, but it's not a patch on mine.
Okay. We'll come to yours in a minute. Alex, let's talk about your top five. Worst five, bottom five.
Top five, worst five, bottom five, whatever five you want to call it. But we're doubling up on double Almunia because I've put him actually at number 5.
Okay,
because,
fair enough.
As much as I dislike him as much as you do, I was able to find some goalkeepers who I thought were actually worse. But there was
God.
I think the main reason why I didn't think Almunia was any good was because he had no business being Arsenal's number one choice.
Yeah. He sort of got thrown into it, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he got thrown into it, but we kept him as the number one choice, even when it was clear as day that he wasn't. And he, in many ways, forgetting that Champions League final, there were some really good Arsenal teams that he was a goalkeeper of, which
the 07-08 season.
If we had a better goalkeeper between the sticks, our fortunes could have been a lot different than they actually turned out being. And you can blame him for that. You can, but you can also put the blame elsewhere for him being selected in that position.
And having like Pascal Segan in front of him. Who's your number 4?
Number 4, I'm going further up north. He played in the Midlands, and it was the scene of his greatest, I'd say, howler, if you want to call it, in the Midlands derby. But Peter Enkelman. Everyone, I'm sure when you hear that name, people will remember the throw-in where it was thrown back to him and he went to control the ball and it bobbled off his foot. Or it didn't bobble off his foot.
Well, if it didn't bobble off his foot, if he left it alone, it would have been a corner.
Yes.
So it's obvious that there was a touch on it, but yeah, that was bad.
But aside of that kind of really summed up his ability as a goalkeeper. It wasn't great. He was very mediocre with at times howlers thrown in there. So he nabs my number 4 position.
Mm-hmm. Shout, is your number 3?
Number 3, doubling up on another one of Gav's, Massimo Taibbi.
Yes.
I'll leave this here. Manchester United signed him quite later in his career. He'd already made a number of appearances before he actually came there. They signed him from a club called Venezia.
Yeah, exactly. In Venice, yeah.
Again, what this has to go down as one of Alex Ferguson's worst signings. He only ever played 4 times for Manchester United in the Premier League, including that. Again, we all remember when you ever hear the name Taibbi, that save, that save, which ended up being a goal. But he had the ball in his arms, and then somehow a second later, it looks like he's come out of his rear end, shall we say, and it's gone into the net. And you're thinking, how is that even possible? How does that work? And that was quickly the end of his Manchester United career.
Poor bugger. Who's your number 2?
Number 2 goes to Stephen Bywater.
Oh, what a shout! What a shout!
The main reason for this, he's a bit of a journeyman pro. He hasn't really, he didn't really play at many. Well, he played at quite a few clubs. Didn't really play at any big clubs, shall we say? But the main reason I put him in for this is because he was one of the goalkeepers that Derby used in their record-breaking Premier League season when they only won 1 game all season, and he made 19 appearances. Now, I don't usually quote stats. That's usually Bucky's.
That's Bucky's forte, isn't it? Yeah.
When I was doing a little bit of research to this, and I remembered this, I had to just check these facts. And he played 19 games for Derby that season when they went down and they won one game. I think they got like, was it something like 15 points?
11 points.
Yeah, 11.
Something like that. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But in the 19 games that he did play, he conceded 2 penalties personally, and he conceded 41 goals.
Wow.
In 19 appearances.
Wow.
So,
good goalkeeper.
To me, to me. Yeah. I mean, you could say it's the whole team. Yeah, you'd be right, but still, great goalkeeper.
Yeah,
However,
I think of him more of his time at Derby, and as soon as you said him, I was thinking, hold on a minute. Yeah, Derby 0708. Oh, God.
How do you top that, though?
Yeah, how do you top that?
Well, there is a goalkeeper, and he goes by the name of Ricardo.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Who somehow managed to play. I'm sure he got capped by Portugal. I'm certain he did. However, Manchester United signed him. Manchester United haven't always had the best signings in goal, but he came in. I mean, I don't think they signed him to be first choice, but they spent $3 million on him at the time, which I think was towards the mid 2000s, because he came in just before Tim Howard did, because Tim Howard kind of came over and obviously took the starting position, but it was not a very good signing at all. He only played one game in the Premier League for Manchester United, and in that game, his very first bit of action, he conceded a penalty, and it was against Blackburn Rovers.
Brilliant.
And that pretty much sums it up. He was just not very good.
Wow. That's a very interesting top 5. Buccarino.
Well, how do I beat that one?
Wow.
My number 5.
Yes.
Starts with Aurelio Gomez.
Yes, Aurelio Gomez.
Okay.
Why have you got Aurelio Gomez number 5? Number
5. Yeah, just what a catastrophe as a goalkeeper. The ones that stand out for me, certainly for the number 5 one, is if you go online and have a good look on YouTube, there's a goal that he conceded against Aston Villa. Bit of a tame shot, and he just kind of almost passes it into his own net.
Probably forgot which way he was shooting, you know.
So he's well earning of number 5 in my opinion.
Okay, who's your number 4?
Okay,
Aurelio Gomez.
Aurelio Gomez. Oh God, why have you gone with Aurelio Gomez number 4?
So it just gets better. So he's one of the few keepers that are around. So Taibbi was bad and didn't really pull off any worldies. You get the odd keeper that, like Lloris, that can pull off some worldy saves and has the odd occasional howler.
Yeah, like a Pepe Reina.
With Aurelio Gomez, it's a more regular howler. So it's thoroughly earning of being at number 4.
Lovely. Who's your number 3?
Number 3 is Aurelio Gomez.
Oh, God. Aurelio Gomez. What a shout at number 3.
So there's just so many things that this guy has done wrong. So again, do you remember the goal that he conceded against Fulham?
Yes.
And goalkeeper's not getting beat at your near post. And the shot comes in and he spills it at his near post. Literally goes, the goal. Oh, we're sorry. Hang your head in shame, sunshine.
Poor bugger.
Dreadful.
Who's number 2?
Aurelio Gomez.
Has Aurelio Gomez caused you great personal pain here, Stephen? I feel like he's done something to you.
A number of years. Listen, when you've got a goalkeeper that you've bought for a shed load of money, because they bought him off of PSV Eindhoven, mainly because he saved so many penalties against Spurs in the UEFA Cup, I think it was. So they went, that's the solution. We'll buy him. Then they can't keep knocking us out of the UEFA Cup. We'll buy the goalkeeper. Job done. And he turns up and he's so bad that when Harry Redknapp arrived, he signed a 40-year-old Brad Friedel on a free transfer and gave him a 2-year contract because he knew it was such a calamity in goal. It was the only way to fix it was to get someone that was reliable, even if you had to put the Zinnoway into the goalpost at the same time.
Oh, good Lord. And who's your number one?
Is there Elio Gomez?
The absolute shade. Oh my god.
It's our first full clean sweep.
Honestly, he's summed up with two things. So there's another, more recently, I think it was in 2015, 2016, he let a goal in again. N'Golo Kante's shot when Kante was playing for Leicester.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing, almost Massimo Taibbi kind of level, where the ball comes in, he goes to collect it and drops it straight between his legs and it rolls behind him and into the net.
Jesus Christ.
Summed up, really, with the chant that the Spurs fans have for him, in the fact that he's the love of their life and they would let him have his way with their wife. But I'm afraid that's quite a reliable statement with him, because to be honest, if he turned up to come anywhere near your wife or girlfriend, you're sound, because there's just as much chance that he's going to fall over his own 2 feet and knock himself out on the bedpost long before he gets anywhere near your wife. The water is him giving her an absolute great night. He's absolutely there. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. We all love him, but he's dreadful. I'm sorry.
Elio Gomez, poor bugger. Oh, Lord. So that's our top 5 worst goalkeepers. Who's your top 5 worst goalkeepers? In fact, what's your top 5 anything? You know, give us a shout, let us know, and we'll feature it in a future show. From myself, make sure you follow us on all social media, @2@TopFootball on all social media platforms. From myself, Alex Osborn, and Stephen Burke, I'm Gav Mack. Thank you, and